Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Catering Cage. The lights are on, the crowd is roaring, and the industry's toughest questions are stepping into the ring. So strap in, because the bell is about to ring.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another really exciting episode of the Catering Cage. Today is November the 11th, and we'd like to acknowledge all the people who have given service to veterans out there. And today we have an incredible guest that I've met recently and had the pleasure of getting to know. He is a franchisee. He'll tell you all about it. Paul Goldsmith, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, great to have you, Paul. I've been watching your journey, and it's been amazing. Before we get going on catering, Paul, I just want to connect with you. Just like, where are you? You're over in Tennessee, I think, just south of Nashville.
Yeah, just about a half hour south of Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah, I've been following your story. I think you have a great story. I think it's you and your wife, Marianne. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. And I want to talk a little bit about sort of this health and fitness journey that you've been on. And I've had my own health and fitness journey. Had some health issues. Exited Monkey Media, coming up on 7 years ago. Made a commitment to my health and fitness at that point. I was able to shed 50 pounds and get into the gym and get strong and do all that stuff
Yeah,
and feel better than ever today. So
you look
I'd love
great.
to, yeah, thank you very much. And you do too. So tell me, like, how did it happen for you?
Well, thanks for asking. Yeah, business is personal, right? And if we're gonna start a business, open a restaurant, I wanted to be something that I believed in, would be a customer at, and really, I would say my journey, it took me a while. My wife and I moved to Tennessee in 2017. And shortly after moving, she was looking for her crew. We have three kids, and she always likes to hang out with other moms. And she found a gym. Burn Boot Camp had just opened here in Spring Hill, Tennessee.
Mm,
And she went and fell in love, and that was her thing. I didn't go with her, but at the end of 2018, I lost my mom to dementia.
mm,
She's only 65, and so that was kind of a wake up call, because that's pretty young, and just
mm,
saw the deterioration there. And as more I dug into that terrible disease, I realized there's a lot of lifestyle factors that contribute to that.
mm,
And then the pandemic happened, and I realized, okay, nobody's coming to save us. What's going on here? And I started getting curious. So I started going to the gym myself in 2020. And with that, realized you can't outwork a bad diet. So started eating healthier. Saw a rapid transformation, as one does, when
mm.
you go from not working out and not eating particularly healthy to doing both of those things, working out every day and really watching what I eat, and not for weight reasons,
Mm,
but I I did lose 30 pounds very rapidly, and then started putting on muscle and
mm.
realized, hey, these mental benefits are even greater than the physical benefits,
Totally.
and kind of became addicted, and so loved it. And so in 2022, was really looking at some different business opportunities. I have a consulting business, actually helping nonprofits raise money.
Mm,
That was going well, and it still is. Actually, I still have that business, but really wanted to invest in our community and looked around and thought, what could we do? And inspired by my own health journey, that's what kind of led us to the restaurant world.
right. And now you're a franchisee of Saladworks and Frutta Bowl. Is that correct?
That's correct. Kind of the origin story of that, also a franchisee of Burn Boot Camp. So as we
Mm,
were looking around for businesses, I thought, where do I start? I'm a runner. I actually looked at Fleet Feet.
mm,
Great. I buy shoes there for the races and love that store. There's one about 30 minutes away, but not in our community. But after talking to them, they're super conservative about where they put their locations, and it was
mm.
kind of close to a really high profitable one for them.
Yeah.
But we talked for quite a while, and then I realized, it's just not the right fit. I can be a customer there, but don't need to own it. And it also occurred to me that a lot of people go look at places like a shoe store and then go buy things on Amazon. And so I
Yeah.
thought,
Yeah.
I
For
want to
sure.
open a business that Amazon's not going to easily replace. And so my wife was on board. She's like, "No restaurants. Those sound hard." That was truly the one, thing, and, got to talking to another friend, at Burn Boot Camp, and I thought, "Man, wonder if the owner would ever sell." And we went to, the owner. He owned multiple locations but didn't live in our community, and, made a proposal, and he said, "Maybe in the future, but just not interested." So we moved on and then said, well, looked at different franchises and, nothing really clicked. And then I thought, what if we did a restaurant, but, no fryers, and we don't have anything like Saladworks in our community. I'd never heard of Saladworks. Actually, I was familiar with another salad brand called Chopped. They
Mm.
have one in Brentwood, Tennessee, and I loved it, but they don't franchise. And so I literally Googled salad franchises and found Saladworks, and fell in love, signed a franchise agreement, and shortly after signing the franchise agreement, the owner of Burn called us back and said, "I changed my mind. Oh, we're actually interested in selling." And I'm like, "Well, that's crazy. I don't think we should open 2 franchises at
Mm,
the same time,
mm,
but this is a great opportunity," and they definitely complement each other well. They said, those things go hand in hand, working out and eating well.
mm, mm.
They said, "Why not? We already know the business is a good business, Burn, because my wife had been a member there." And so we moved forward with partners in the gym, so that lowered the investment and the risk. And I'm glad we did, because we encountered a lot of problems in opening Saladworks, not due to the company, but to our building. We were
Right.
gonna open it in a new building, and
Yeah.
it took a couple, years to actually get the building done and open. So we we took over the ownership of Burn in, the summer of '22 and opened Saladworks 2 years later, last summer of June of '24.
Great. So here you are. Well, I mean, I love the. I mean, the philosophy is amazing, and to your point, you can't train your way out of a bad diet. We all know that,
Right,
right? And a lot of people do that. They train hard and they don't pay attention to nutrition, and they don't understand why their body composition is not changing. And
right.
I like you had I had the luxury of diving in during the pandemic and sort of really educating myself with that stuff, and I needed to get a handle on my own health. So you're preaching to the choir, and love what you guys are doing. Um, and so, what I really want to do today, is talk a lot about, sort of catering. I mean, I think you're new to the franchise systems, right? So,
Like,
here you are as a franchisee, you're getting a lot of support corporately, but you're also doing your own thing, right? Because you don't get all the support you need necessarily. We know data wise, we know historically that a lot of franchisors have limited catering programs that they're offering to their franchisees. There's always more to do. There's always more investments to make. You've probably been watching me on LinkedIn. I'm a big proponent of like, where is the next chief catering officer? Like, why hasn't that happened? Right.
yeah.
So, like, what percentage is catering for you of your
Okay,
sales?
well, 18 months into the business, we're at 8%
Eight.
catering, going for 30 next year.
Wow, 30.
Let's
So,
go.
okay. So let's talk about that. So big
Yeah,
leap from 8 to 30,
right,
right? And I mean, I love it. I think it's brilliant. And look, when I had my deli, well, many years ago, I mean, catering was half my business when I sold it. I mean, it took a while to get there,
right.
right? But when it was half my business, when catering represented 50% of my business, the unit economics were incredible, right? Because you know what I know, that catering is a strong marketing vehicle. It's a great, it's another service you can provide your customers. It's a great way to leverage the brand. You're just driving more sales, incremental sales to your unit, right?
Well, it's
Um,
true, and it's just math. The average ticket price in the restaurant, and we have a
yeah,
small footprint. We're 1,500 square feet,
yeah, yeah,
and we can only get so many people through the line at lunch or
right,
dinner.
right,
And so the average ticket price of a
yeah.
catering is $400. So,
Mm, mm,
clearly it's just math.
right. And how many takeout orders do you need to equal one catering order?
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so that was my experience as well. And then, so as catering increased and the store was either a steady or, it was growing, but very slowly, like there was always, and no matter what I did at retail, like it was always like within a range, right? It was somewhere between like 3,000 and 4,000 every day was retail. But I had some days out the back door that were like $25,000.
Amazing. That's
Yeah,
incredible.
yeah, and so we had days when we're going like, "Oh my god, how are we even gonna open this store today?" You
Right.
know? So, I mean, a whole other bunch of headaches and problems, but I guess my point is to the people listening is that catering was such a driver of profitability and such a driver of cash in the business, um, that it just, just became part of the strategy that was so core. And I don't think the fundamentals have changed very much. I think it's still the same, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
it is.
And so you're in your community, like what kind of things are you doing to get catering sales?
Well, that's why I said and it's only 8%. I love the Einstein quote. I haven't failed. I've just tried 10,000 ways that don't work. And trust me, I've tried the 10,000 ways that don't work. So I can be a cautionary tale of
Mm.
all
Yeah,
the
well,
things that don't work to grow
what
catering. And
tell
that's
us
why
what
I'm
doesn't.
here on Catered Link to learn the
Yeah,
ways that do work.
amazing. So tell like what didn't work?
Yeah. So here's the interesting place we're in. Like I said, Saladworks, we're the only location in
Mm,
Tennessee. So we don't have brand recognition. And we're also in a very growing community, but most of the people that live here work in Nashville or one of the surrounding suburbs of Nashville. So they don't actually, work in Spring Hill. And so that's a challenge because the people ordering catering aren't necessarily driving by our restaurant or coming into our restaurant every day.
mm, mhm,
Um, and so uh, one of the things I did early on was a big believer in digital ads,
mm,
and so I actually ran a contest on Facebook and Instagram where we had we promoted it locally and in store, and had people enter to win a free office catered lunch. And very quickly, I got over 100 leads, and so I thought, this is awesome. But as I followed up with all of the leads, I realized these are not the people that order catering.
mm,
So we pulled winners and gave away, but we didn't get any repeat business from that.
mhm,
And
mhm,
so, I'm not saying contests don't work; they certainly can. But that particular contest, we just weren't generating the leads of people that order catering, and
right,
so quickly pivoted. We still run ads on Facebook and Instagram, but for the restaurant itself
right,
in a
right,
3-mile radius.
yeah,
But like I said, the majority of the businesses that do order catering from us don't live in our community.
mm,
And so that was, idea number one that didn't work. I also posted a job opening for a catering coordinator.
mhm,
But we're just a brand new restaurant. I'm figuring this out as we go. So we don't have a big budget, right? We're
yeah,
trying to figure this, and so I couldn't necessarily pay an experienced director of catering.
mm,
So I hired a really smart recent college grad who had moved to the area to be closer to family, and she also worked in the store. So she was fabulous with customers and she's fabulous on the phone, but she had no experience
mhm, mhm,
in catering outreach, which as you know, and as I now know, is a very unique skill set, and you got to know what you're doing.
yeah,
And so she realized that that was not her strong suit, sales. And so she moved on. And so that kind of came back to me to oversee and figure out, the job of catering sales. And so yeah, those were a couple of things. Also, reaching out on LinkedIn, and I'm a member of our Chamber of Commerce. I also reached out to all the business owners, and one of the things I reached out to every business owner in town. There's over 500 people that are members of the chamber, and I said, "Hey, free lunch,"
mm,
and got a number of responses. And I said, "Hey, with the free lunch, no obligation, but if you ever order, office catering, here's our catering menu." And then I sent them a coupon for lunch. But again, these are more smaller businesses, insurance agents and the like, and so um, I made a great number of relationships, but again, not a lot of catering leads.
mm,
And so I'm still trying to figure out the right engagement. I would love feedback from this community and how they've
Yeah.
found the chamber, because I love being a member of the chamber and engaging with other local
Yeah.
business owners, but that's not yet turned into a
Right.
vehicle
Right.
for catering sales. So those are
Yeah.
some of the things that we've done that haven't worked. And the outreach, the cold calling on LinkedIn, haven't got any responses there. Targeting pharmaceutical reps and sales reps. Well, that's not true. I have had a few conversations, but again, that's not work. And spoiler alert. And I know everybody with experience catering knows this, but the main thing that has worked for the direct catering is to go to offices and sample.
Yeah.
I tried to get
Yeah.
around that. It was
No, no.
uncomfortable, but you
Sampling
can't get around
sells.
that in person.
Yeah. And sampling sells. I mean, it's
It
bottom line.
does.
My experience, Paul, really is like, catering at the unit level where you are is a community thing. It's like,
Yep.
you're in this community, you and your family, and you add a lot of value to it. And I think like getting out into the community, right, and sampling is the way to go. And I think you'll always get results with that because people want to do business with their community and they want to do business locally and they want to support entrepreneurship and they want to support local businesses, right?
Right.
So I think that's the narrative, and it's always been that way. I don't think it's changed a lot, and it's more difficult today because people don't answer their phones, they don't let you into their buildings. Um, we're dealing with all these marketplaces. Competition is fierce. And so I think really getting your mind wrapped around the value proposition is so core to this thing. And like, what is driving these catering transactions? I can tell you, it's not price. I mean, price is sensitive with everything, but you know, does somebody really care if they're going to save $50 on a catering order, or what? Or do they care more about the fact that it's there on time? And I want to support Paul and Marianne because I know them. They're community members. So developing that narrative, like really explaining, like to your constituents of like what happens when you actually go through a third party marketplace. Like how does that impact our business?
Right.
And
Well, and I'll say that what's driving the majority of the 8% thus far has been the third party marketplace,
yeah,
EasyCater.
okay,
And of course, they take a lot of the margin and kudos to EasyCater. I mean, obviously they've made it easy
yeah,
for the people ordering and the
yeah,
marketplace works. And so I don't think we'll ever leave the marketplace. But as
no,
far as how much resources we put into it, we are trying to drive the direct
yeah,
business because it's more
right,
profitable.
yeah,
And but just that's that's a longer
yeah,
process, and
yeah.
we're figuring that out.
Well, I have recommendations around that if it helps at all. I mean, I am a believer in third party marketplace for catering as a partnership. Um, I'm not a believer in parity in menu, right? So
Yeah.
I actually believe the strategy is, yeah, we want to deal with, Easy Cater or third party marketplace, but we have a menu that's specific to that marketplace.
Mm,
And the products that are available through that menu are different than what you order in your direct channels. I believe. And I think I believe it should be handled as an LTO. So you provide the marketplace with a very limited experience. Okay. And you create a unique experience to that marketplace, which is Easy Cater's customers. Right.
right.
And then for you to drive direct business, you can do your full offering or do something different. So what you create is you create channels that are differentiated. And you have a consumer that's sitting on the outside that can decide on which channel they want to use on this differentiated experience. And you might see that you might get an expansion of first party transactions that way.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I love that. I mean, obviously,
Well, they're fighting it, so that's
activity
why,
value.
and they know that. I mean, if you look at your agreements, you'll see they're locking people down on menu parity.
Right.
DoorDash did that at the beginning on takeout, as Uber Eats did, and I think they've given up that fight now. Right?
Right. Yeah.
So,
I get it, and I see it as marketing. Clearly, the orders that come in through EasyCater, they wouldn't know we exist,
yeah,
and
yeah,
so that has been huge for exposing it. But it's our job and to build a relationship after the
yeah,
first order.
Yeah.
and ask for that direct business. And so that's really what we're focused on.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, think about that differentiated approach.
Yeah,
Publish a
sure.
menu on Easy Cater over here, publish your different menu over here and see what happens. Try. I
Right.
mean, they won't be happy about it, but whatever. It's just, it's life, you know?
Sure. Yeah,
Um,
and we obviously, are trying to, grow the direct business, so that's a
yeah.
great idea.
Yeah. Well, you can grow both. I think you can grow Easy Cater's relationship and you can grow your first party. I think there's
Right.
room for both. I really do. And so, historically what's been happening is the third parties came on the scene 15 years ago, and they started to eat everybody's lunch. And I think now it's like it's changing. It's slowly changing where they're realizing actually there are true partnerships that exist, and there's a great spot for Easy Cater, and and of course you want to be part of that. But you also need to fight for your first party, transaction survival. Everybody's
Right.
battling that. Yeah, yeah. So that's great, Paul. I mean, so you're pounding the pavement every day, right?
That's
Knocking
right.
on doors. Yeah. Um, Resources are slim. We get that. So, like, let's talk about franchisee relationship.
Mhm.
We touched on that a little bit. Of course, I know Kelly very well. Kelly Roddy, amazing guy, amazing leader. He really gets catering, big time. Um, and of course, he's got a strategy on how he's going to scale up his franchise brands. I think it's WowWorks.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. So multiple brands, and I imagine he's chipping away and getting there.
Yep.
Um, and eventually he'll sort of get back to catering as a priority once he's kind of figured everything else out. Um, and so, like, what does that look like in terms of like the franchise system? How many stores within the system of Saladworks?
Well, within Saladworks, I believe there's, close to 100
Yeah,
locations, but, growing, and then we're a co-branded store, so we also have the Frutta Bowls brand,
right, right.
which are acai bowls. That one's a little trickier figuring out for catering
Mm,
because people aren't necessarily thinking of that for lunch.
mm,
Yeah, we do have the co-brand, and yeah, Kelly's been great and supportive. In fact,
yeah,
he was showing, he chose to come to our store recently, with an investor that's looking to open multiple locations, and so I was
mm,
honored that he was showcasing our store. I
great.
thought, "Well, we must be doing something right because
For
he's telling us
sure,
off."
for sure, for
Yeah,
sure. You are. I know when you're doing it on your own every day, you kind of feel like you're in a silo. But yeah, I mean, it sounds like you're killing it. Um, and I guess like in terms of like the programmatically, like I think as you advance as a group, and you go to your franchise conventions annually and all that stuff. I mean, catering is going to become more and more and more important
right.
as it does in every brand because you've always got high performing stores, you've got ones that are lagging behind, and everybody needs more sales, right? So, like, sales solves your problems,
That's true, yes,
right?
and we're looking to learn from others. I've reached out to other franchisees that have multiple locations or have been doing it a
Yeah,
lot longer than I
yeah,
have to learn their best practices, but
yeah,
no, WildWorks has been great to work with. We
great.
have a franchise business consultant that we work with, and,
Yeah,
um, they're incredibly supportive and answer all of our questions, but,
yeah,
at the end of the day, we have to do the work, and the ground
totally,
game is everything.
totally. Do you do a salad bar for catering? Do you do that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's our
Yeah,
most popular
yeah, yeah,
option
yeah,
because there's over 65 fresh ingredients,
yeah.
and so it really meets every dietary need and
Right,
restriction and request,
right,
and
right.
so, people love that,
Yeah.
because they can really create their own experience.
Hmm.
We also have wraps and melts and soups, but the salad bar is the most popular option.
Right, and I imagine, like, just from a prep perspective, it's much easier to prepare salad bars,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
You can
Right.
probably
Oh,
start early morning, like, really a middle of the night kinda thing, and,
yeah.
right? And,
Yeah, and now it all is all fresh, so,
mm,
not a lot can be done the night before, but
yeah,
definitely we can get started, and my wife, oversees, most of the catering prep, and I'm usually doing the deliveries, although, she did one today while I'm a part of this, uh, stream, but it is a team effort for sure.
yeah, well, it's funny you say that. I'm gonna show you something. I know a guy who wrote this. Can you see that? Or is it backwards?
Yes. Oh, I love that. That's
Is
true.
it backwards or
No,
you see
no,
it
I
forward?
can read it. Yep.
Yeah,
Successful
yeah,
catering is a team effort. That's for darn sure. Yeah.
yeah, circa 2010,
Yeah,
I
there's
don't
no
know.
new ideas.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's just, yeah, yeah. I mean, this is the one I really love. This one here. Successful
It's
catering requires a deep commitment across your entire executive team.
it's
This
true.
one, and I feel like, Paul, honestly, like I feel like this industry is so far behind that commitment, you know?
Well, honestly, I can only speak for myself, but I never really thought much about catering. I was opening a restaurant for my community,
Yeah,
uh, but as we got rolling, I realized financially, for the way this thing is going to work, if we
yeah,
want to stay in business, we have
yeah,
got to embrace catering. Just
yeah,
the economics of it, that has to be a big piece of it. And
yeah.
so, I had to learn that in real time and
Totally.
realize that, um, the value add is huge. And
Yeah,
so that's
yeah,
got to be a key component of our strategy. I do
right.
appreciate also, the marketing team at WowWorks. I
Yeah,
met with the head of marketing a few weeks ago, and she was looking at packaging items because right
mm,
now, because we're a smaller brand, we don't have a
mm.
lot of branded items, and I think that's critically important.
Critical.
Just from the employees that are eating it, they know what they're getting, and brand
Yeah,
recognition. And I see the larger brands, of course, do that because every office I go into,
yeah,
I'll see the packaging from, the last
yeah,
restaurant that was there that morning or the day before,
yeah,
and get kind of envious. But
yeah,
we do our best by putting Saladworks stickers
yeah,
on each of the
yeah,
containers, and
yeah,
but we're looking forward to, as the brand grows, getting more branded
yeah,
materials because I do
yeah.
think it's crucial.
Crucial. I mean, it's an investment like anything, and the catering is its own business. It needs investments, and
Well, it's
certainly
true.
at yeah,
Yeah.
and certainly at the brand level, like, and I mean, franchisors are battling all kinds of battles. I mean, so it's very hard for them to prioritize the resources for catering because there's a conflict and there's a competition for resources internally. And I've always flabbergasted by that because I'm going like, what better lift is there in the business?
Yeah.
And so for example, when you sell catering, you sell it on a co-branded menu or do you split the menus?
No, it is split, and
Yeah,
in fact, I that's something I'm thinking about. I definitely, let people know about Frutta Bowls after they've ordered,
yeah, yeah,
and, we've gotten a few, catering orders for Frutta Bowls, from
yeah,
reps that have ordered Saladworks before,
yeah,
because they're looking for something different,
right.
but our menu's extensive enough, and so it
Yeah,
feels overwhelming to try to give both
yeah,
at the
yeah,
time.
for sure. That's for sure. Um, but here's something to think about or play with, or
Sure.
I'm sure the brand police aren't going to let you do this, but um, a little innuendo, okay. And I'm going to tell you my experience. So I had a place. It was called Tony's Neighborhood. Yes, Tony's Neighborhood Deli and Canadian Deli. Sorry, Tony's Neighborhood Deli.
Yeah.
Okay. That was the name of my place. And I bought it as a distressed business and I started fixing it. And when I started fixing it, we used catering as a strategy to right size the ship. Okay. And then off it went and catering started to go. In those days, everything was manual. I'm talking like this is 1996, Paul. It's a long time ago. It's almost 30 years. So, and then of course, my story became the technology and all that stuff. And okay, that's all
Yeah.
done. But it wasn't until we changed the brand where we called it Tony's Deli and Catering Company.
Put it in the name. Yeah.
And that's when it really went.
I get it.
So,
People are
you know,
busy, and, I that makes perfect sense to me
yeah,
because
yeah,
you just the people ordering from you are not in this business. They don't think about it,
yeah,
and so that makes a lot of sense.
yeah, yeah. So like
Yeah,
Saladworks and Catering Company.
right.
I mean, I'm going to get a phone call, I'm sure, from Kelly going, Earl, what are you doing here? Like, the brand police are going to get very upset with me. But whatever. It's a concept, right? It's more of an
Sure.
idea. I am pretty certain that if you were able to somehow get Salad Works and catering in there, that you would see an uptick in sales for sure.
Well, and, I will tell you, I do own saladworkscatering.com until
Yeah.
until
Okay.
corporate watches this and asks me to take it down, but, that goes
Yeah.
directly, to our
Yeah.
catering page, because for that very reason. I mean,
Yeah.
it's different
Yeah.
marketing, it's a different ask, Uh,
Totally.
and so I do lead with Saladworks Catering. In fact, I
Mm.
joined the Chamber of Commerce. I didn't call it Saladworks. I call it Saladworks Catering
Okay. So you're
on the
doing that
list.
already.
So I'm tracking with that 100%.
Yeah.
Um, and it actually brought me joy when I had somebody, "Do you also have a restaurant?" "Yes." So that's good. But, just trying to break into the market because like I
Yeah.
said,
Yeah.
people ordering catering aren't necessarily in the
Yeah.
restaurant on a daily
Right.
basis. So
Right.
just trying to, create awareness around that, but
Yeah.
totally agree. It is its
Yeah.
own business.
Yeah. So doing that dance with with corporate is not an easy one for franchisees, I think, but it's an important conversation to have. And my observation has been is when you add the word catering into the name, that's when people look at you as caterers,
Yeah.
and you start to get things that you didn't get before. Um, so on that note, are you doing both social catering as well as corporate? Like you're doing both?
Well, the majority is corporate.
Yeah. So Monday to
The
Friday.
catering that we've gotten are from customers in the store that have
Right.
ordered for a graduation party or,
Yeah.
you know,
Engagement party.
something for their family.
Yeah.
So that's been very minimal.
Mm,
I haven't spent much time focusing on that because I
yeah.
have been focused on the corporate
Yeah.
catering.
Yeah. And it's also like lifestyle wise. I mean, it's a Monday to Friday business
Right.
primarily. So, you can rest on the weekend. You know.
Right.
And that's important because I mean, this business will eat you alive. It's 7 days a week. It's open all and retail's tough, right?
It's true.
Yeah, for
Well,
sure.
and back to your point about, embracing the priorities, I get it because the fast casual uh, business right now, from everything I've read, is really having a hard time. And so if your restaurant is floundering,
Yeah.
if you take your eye off the ball, if you don't have a restaurant, it's hard to cater out of it.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Yeah.
And that's where I will give credit to my wife, Mary Ann. She has been focused on making sure the store is running smoothly and the
Hmm.
team is doing well and thriving. And so that's where it's left me to focus on the
Yeah.
marketing of catering, and I get it
Right.
because and so that's what my guess would be why, some restaurants and other that don't fully embrace catering because it does take almost a full-time focus,
Yeah.
and if you're gonna be successful, and, if, you're struggling keeping the restaurant open and profitable, then I get it. It's like there's another thing and to
Mm,
really divide your focus.
totally. So lofty goal, you want to get to 30%,
Right.
which is awesome. I mean, if you can, your unit economics are going to be amazing.
Well, that's the goal because 'cause we've already invested we've got the building, we've got the team,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so we're already paying for this, and we've got the ingredients there,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so at
More
the end of
sales.
the day, it's more profit. The higher the more catering you get, the higher the profit margin, and so
Yeah.
to me, sky's the limit, let's go,
Yeah. Okay.
because, we're covering the costs from the store, and so really
Yeah.
that's how I think about it.
Yeah.
The customers in the store are basically just, covering the cost of operations, and
Right.
then catering can be more of the profit margin.
Right. So what's the biggest sales day you've had so far in one day?
With catering,
Catering. Yeah. Just catering.
yeah, I would say the biggest catering so far has been about $4,000.
Okay. So 4 grand in one day
Yeah,
and pre-planned. So you know the day before.
right,
Amazing. So you can staff it. It's easy to forecast all that stuff.
right,
And so you do 4 grand in catering that day, plus whatever you're doing in retail. And it's a
right.
okay. So my next question would be in terms of the team, because you're the leader. And do you provide incentive programs? Are you engaging them in doing catering sales? Are they on the floor talking to people about catering? Like, what are you doing there?
No,
Mm,
those are great ideas, and we need to
yeah.
do that, because the team in the store have been trained to run the store
Yeah.
and,
Yeah. Yeah.
have not.
So
We've
my
not talked
recommendation.
much about
Yeah.
catering other than when we have large orders,
Yeah.
schedule appropriately and have them help us prep.
Yeah. I mean, my recommendation always is, you should identify on each shift a catering captain,
Hmm,
and I would train those people, and they become the point of contact in the store for catering, so it's controlled. You pay them, a little extra on an hourly basis, And then you give them the procedures. And so, for example, and I don't know the dynamics of your store, but if you're like at most fast casuals, you got a little breakfast traffic, you ramp up, the morning gets busy, catering's getting done, everything's going out the door. It's done by 11:30. Everyone takes a deep breath, and then you get slammed for lunch,
Right.
right? Okay.
Nailed it.
And so when you get slammed for lunch, that catering captain, the best place for them to be is not behind the counter, Paul.
Right.
Okay. It's on the floor.
Talking to guests. Yeah.
Yeah, talking to guests. And so what do? The catering captain walks around, they look at people, they see them eating. When they're finished, they go and they clean their table. How was everything today? You get into a conversation. Oh, hey, did you know we cater? So this is an example of some ways to engage. Get one person, somebody personable. I think you've already identified who that person might be. And their job is to qualify and to see if they or somebody they know, maybe a referral, okay, could use those services and then get a name and an email or a phone number, some contact information, which then goes into your database. That's when you start calling and you schedule a sample.
I love it.
Okay. Right. So when you make the call, hey, Terry, Earl was in our store recently. He mentioned you use catering. I'd love to send you a sample. And then what you do is you communicate to both Terry. I'm using Terry as an example.
Sure.
You use Terry and this new lead on communication together because they know each other, and you make sure you say thank you,
Yeah.
and you
That
make the connection.
light bulb just went off. That's
Yeah,
brilliant. It's
yeah,
like, seems so simple. Why have we
yeah.
done it?
It's simple.
I'll
It's
tell you because
simple.
I know from personal experience, when I
Yeah,
happen to be in the
yeah,
restaurant, I'll
yeah,
strike up conversations with the customer, and
yeah,
I've had that conversation a few
yeah,
times with
yeah,
people
yeah.
and hand them a
Okay,
catering menu and
there you go.
follow up,
There,
but you're right, no one, we don't have employees doing that active.
you need one on at the lunch hour, Brock, who's
Right.
who's under, who's handling that. And then the other thing I would recommend that you do, and I don't know if you do this or not, but um, do you display all your catering deliveries in the store on the day of?
N No, I do try to
No.
take pictures and post on social.
Okay.
We don't.
So this is in the store because your biggest marketing vehicle is your location. And I don't know how many people come through your location every day.
About 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's 100 people that are coming through. And what I did at Tony's Deli, and I think this still stands, this is old school, okay, was I put up on the wall a butcher paper roll. You know the butcher paper?
Yeah,
You know how it comes on a roll?
right.
Right? And we would pull the roll down and we would take a black felt marker and we would write all the today's catering and we would write
Oh,
them all down.
yeah,
Okay. So when people were in the store, those 100 people, when they're visiting, would be, oh, wow, you're going, my wife works there. My friend works there
right,
because it's all community driven.
right,
Okay. Oh, I didn't know you guys catered. Okay.
right.
Uh, and that awareness in the store is a very powerful mechanism. And then, of course, at the end of the day, you rip the butcher paper off, you pull it down for the next day, right? And you do
Smart.
it again.
Yeah,
Okay. Now,
absolutely.
I think some people today are graduating to electronic menu boards, but you don't have them, then that's okay. But so this was an old school idea. And at Tony's Deli, we did that, every day. And some days that, like, we had 30 deliveries. I mean, the list was so long, it was just like people would come in and go, wow, you guys are doing all those deliveries?
Yeah. No, that's amazing. We're certainly not up to that volume, but
Yeah.
I love
So,
the idea of putting, who ordered each day,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
prominent in the restaurant. That's a great
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah. So that's like celebrating your wins. I mean, that's like
Right.
an
I do
amazing,
that online, but,
yeah.
that, that
But
makes a lot.
your customers are in the store.
Right. No,
Yep. Yeah.
totally.
So it's like they're right.
Yeah,
So,
the people that already sold on the product, right.
yeah. So I would love to see, like, I would love to, I mean, those two things, very cheap to do. Okay. Very effective. And I would love to have you back on another show, maybe, after you try that stuff for
Sure.
a number of months and see how it goes.
I'd love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's great. And, you win or you learn, and, I'm continually learning and
Yeah.
trying to find out what does work best, but I
Awesome.
like the idea of incentivizing, team members
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
scouting, every day.
Scouting, selling, closing, and then figuring out some comp package on setting goals. And if you exceed them, people get paid. And
Yeah.
and you
Win-win.
gamify it.
Right.
Gamify it. It's not even necessarily money. It could be like 2 tickets to a movie or 2 tickets to the ballet, or it could be, anything, right?
Right.
So you gamify it, make it interesting, and every day and then the other thing I would do is I would put a thermometer, a catering sales thermometer in the kitchen in the back.
Hmm.
And I would have, as part of your store procedures, could be this catering lead person, right? I would get them to color the thermometer every day,
Hmm. Yeah. They have
right?
ownership in it. Absolutely.
Yeah, because they
Measure
can
what
see the
matters.
goal. They
Yeah.
can see the goal. And if and when they hit that goal, you have a big celebration and you take good care of them, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and when team members do help with catering, we split the tip, among the team
Yep.
members for sure,
Great. Great.
to incentivize them, but that makes a lot of sense just earlier in the process, help with the sales process.
Awesome. Great. Well, Paul, it's been amazing to have you on the show. I want to, give you back some time in your day today. So is there anything else you want to share with anybody who might be listening to this?
Well, no, keep at it, and, I just wanna thank you for Caterlink. That is a huge resource, to learn from others that are doing the same thing, and so I really appreciate, all the tools and
Yeah.
resources and people in this community because, it's not easy, and, it is encouraging to
Yeah.
celebrate the wins
Yeah.
and lessons from others.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. So for those that are listening, Paul's referencing Cater Linked, which is our free catering community for restaurant operators. It is supported by supply chain partners, and it's meant as an education platform as well as a peer platform for people to connect. And actually, the brainchild behind it is a fellow named Terry Matthews, and he's the one that's driving CaterLink forward. So, would love to see more of your franchisees there, Paul. I hope you can get them to come. It's free. It doesn't, it doesn't cost anything. So, and even if Kelly can sponsor the corporate and bring some people, that'd be good stuff for him.
Sure.
So, and tell him, say, hey, Kelly, get your first catering chief catering officer. You'd be the first one. You'd be setting a new trend. I think everybody would follow. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Um, so, anyways, I'm very grateful to you. I just want to thank you very much. I want to congratulate you on all your success and all the amazing things that you're doing. And it's just a pleasure to have you in our community.
Thanks, Earl. Appreciate it.
Okay.
And that's the match! For the fight for off-premises greatness never stops. So tune in next week for more Catering Cage action. When our challenger steps into the ring, new contender, fresh strategy, same no holds barred arena. We'll see you back in the Catering Cage.